somebody asking you to describe your comedy style is kind of like asking you to describe what your fart smells like. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll do it. But like, does anybody else want to hear? It's pungent. Hi, Bubba.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tibersi.
Hey there. Hi. Hello. Hi, my friends. What is up, my friends? This is another episode 83 of Jokes and the Gym with Rudy Tibersi. It's your boy, Rudy Tibersi, coming at you. Tired on a Monday. Tired on a Tuesday if you're listening to this when it drops. Tired on whatever day of the week you might be listening to. Maybe you're not tired. Maybe you're feeling great. Maybe you're feeling good. Maybe you're ready to go. If so, I salute you. Rad. But I'm not. I didn't get the warm up today. I didn't get the warming ups that I needed. I didn't get the sleeps that I needed. I'm one of them sleeping peeps. Them sleeping peepins, because if I don't get it, I don't feel it. I'm not feeling it. And I have encouraged people for many a years to listen to their body and take it easy when they need to. And so my body tells me that loud and proud. And unfortunately, I had a 2-hour awake break last night. Just couldn't get back to sleep in the middle of the night. Got another hour or two after 5:30, and maybe took a nap in there too, but it just hit me. It's been hitting me all day. And that's another thing that Dr. Kuhn said, is that I will be deeply impacted by a lack of sleep. And so that is something that was good to hear. I mean, it was good to hear because it's been an issue for me for a long time. And I have been rejected and ridiculed for my lack of energy in the past. And to know that it's not just me being a party pooper, just a sleepyhead, lazy, any of those things, it's in large part due to Tommy. Take a nap. You're tired. I get your energy. Nom, 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 ah. Has helped me be kinder with myself. A little bit. Tommy the tumor up there doing his thing. Some people call it dark comedy. I call it tumor humor. I did my first comedy set this past weekend at Bleepin Funny, one of my favorite shows here in town. My first set since my event, since my seizure on June 6th. I had some shows the night before, June 5th, at the Comedy Club Olsen Run here in town, and then on June 6th I had the seizure, and I haven't done comedy since. I've just been kind of learning about all of it, and it's hard for me to get going. I'm really trying to focus on health, on connection with others, on my birthday party, on my family, on my friends, on trying to rest, on all those things that are so, so crucial when something big is coming up. And so I'm trying to be a little kinder to myself in a variety of ways. And that's what I think that's one of the benefits of a diagnosis, is allowing yourself a little bit more grace, a little bit more leeway. So I'm a little low energy today, and I'm not going to apologize, but just take that into account, because that's part of it. I probably won't yammer on as long as I tend to, but I do want to talk a bit about just the process of warming up in general. Like that's what we have to do. I've read somewhere that it takes 15 minutes for us to like get used to a new activity when we switch from one thing to another. And once you get past that 15 minutes, then you're kind of good to go. And that's one of the reasons I like to have a nice warm up with my clients. Usually takes around 15 minutes, and we're chatting, we're moving, we're getting the body loose, we're starting to musculate. I don't know if that's a word, but we're musculating. And just go from there, because that's important. And once you get out past that 15-minute marker, you're like, okay, I can do this, whatever it is, whether you're writing, doing some work, working out, doing an hour-long set, maybe. I don't know. Comedy, it's different. It's weird because you're forced to do it immediately. And I mean, thinking about it, like how most people are not doing sets longer than 15 minutes. The vast majority of comedy sets are less than 15 minutes. You know, there's a small percentage of comedians who get to do the hour on a regular basis. The working headliner gets to do that. Great, awesome. And so they have that time to go slower. Watch the difference in pacing between a headliner and somebody just doing 5 to 10 minutes. When you're doing 5 to 10 minutes, you don't have that luxury of like stretching your legs before you get on stage. When you're doing an hour, you're like, okay, we're getting in the groove of this, we're moving along. But for someone else who's just got 5-10 minutes to make that crowd laugh, to make them crack, you got to hit the ground running, dog. And just pay attention to that, because it's not something that we get to do as comedians. And so for someone who has been diagnosed with what they call adjustment disorders, someone who has a right frontal lobe tumor, adjustments are harder. And doctors have told me that. And that gives me something, again, to change the story that I've been telling myself. And so if you're feeling off, if you're feeling something's weird, then don't ignore it. Investigate, see what happens. You have to be such a strong advocate for yourself. Oh my word. That is what I am finding in so many parts of the health field, is that, first of all, they're not talking to each other. The brain specialists aren't talking to the heart specialists, aren't talking to the pulmonary, aren't talking to anyone else. They're in their silos. And I think that makes for a more challenging attempt at holistic care, at looking at the body as a whole, because people are just trying to treat symptoms. And I thought that AFib's cardio version last week was going to help me be a successful warm up into the brain surge. But alas, it did not take. And that kind of told me that, hey, we got to get to the root of this. We can't just be treating symptoms. We got to move forward into this thing. And the doctor said that, yeah, you can. They would have preferred if I was out of AFib. Guess what? Me too. But you can't always get what you want, right? But if you try sometimes, you just might find you're still in AFib, or something like that. I think that was the words. And so, but I still am feeling good about the surgery overall. I'm like, okay, got to get the craniotomy. I've been getting letters recently about my events. I got a letter from my healthcare provider saying I was approved for a craniotomy. Kind of like a Volvo loan, you know what I mean? Hopefully I get more miles out of it. I did some of these jokes on stage, and they got some laughs. I'm glad that I was able to make a room full of people laugh at these serious things. And that's kind of always been what I've attempted to do. My friend, his partner's visiting from Estonia, and she works at a museum, and she asked me to kind of describe my comedy style. And I was happy to do it, but somebody asking you to describe your comedy style is kind of like asking you to describe what your fart smells like. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll do it. But like, does anybody else want to hear? It's pungent. Hi, Bubba. But I got so what did I tell her? I told her that I try to, it's kind of a chain of consciousness, you know, a train of thought, train of consciousness. What is that called? Is that what it is? And I kind of try to talk about my life, and I talk about things that people have a hard time talking about. I want to make weird topics accessible, whether that's about health or sex or relationships or communication, all those kinds of things that some people have a hard time discussing. I want to make that accessible, and I want to make it accessible to a room full of varied individuals, whether you're 21 or 81. I want to be able to talk to you about getting laid because that's important, or a brain tumor, or dying, or my cats, or being tired. Everybody can you know, can connect with some of those ideas. And so it's an interesting thought experiment. How would you describe your comedy if you're a comedian? What would you say if somebody asked you to describe that? Would you scoff at them and say, "Buch, yuck"? Well, how dare I? How dare I think about this form that I take part in so much of my time, energy, and effort? I mean, it's okay to think about your form, your content, what you want to say, what you're trying to say. Is that a little bit of an artist's job? Sorry to say artist as a comedian or whatever, but I have friends who do comedy and other forms of art, and it's okay to talk. Like, why not? A lot of people go to school for this kind of stuff. A lot of people go to school for art. A lot of people go to school for freaking comedy. Go to Canada, Canadian Comedy School. That's what I learned from Steph Tolev. We went on a Tinder date once. Boom, mic drop. And she's Canadian, and she went to like a comedy school. And I'm like, that's freaking dope. Sorry to spill those beans, Steph. She's not going to listen to this. But why not? Take a second to think about what you want to say, what you're trying to say. That's part of it. You can, or just write what you think is funny. Try to have a good time on stage, be yourself, and follow that path. Both are totally okay. Get lost in it, or take a macro view. And for me, that's what I'm kind of doing because I'm not in the weeds as much right now. I want to talk about it. I want to get on stage, but I just don't always have the energy. I did this weekend twice at that show, Bleepin Funny on Saturday. Loved it. 5 p.m. show. And then at my friend Tim's birthday, he had a birthday party outside. And that was like a nice warm up for me for like being social because I'm having my birthday next Monday. On my birthday, 8/4, baby, 8/4. I'll be 4/2, half of that. So I'm excited. So trying to get just warmed up for all of it. And it was a nice, like, okay, socializing event, outdoors, meeting people, talking with people, doing some jokes. Those are all kind of parts of what I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to be playing host, me and my madre. God bless her. Freudis is the best. Friend of the show. And we've been working really hard in the backyard to like clean stuff up, beautify it. Shout out to our homie Mike who's helping with stuff. So appreciating that kind of support. People have been like, "Oh, if you need any like help watering your garden and stuff like that afterwards, like that's great. People want to help. I love that." But there's so many steps in all of it. It's like, "Oh, I want to have this party. I don't know how I'm going to feel afterwards." Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to want to do comedy as much anymore. I don't know what it's going to look like on the other side. I still fully plan to do it. Still fully plan on continuing the podcast. I'm excited to, in fact. But I don't know what my energy levels are going to be like. I don't know what my motivation levels are going to be like. And maybe you don't either. You're coming up on something big. You're going through a big life change. And something else I heard, I forget where I heard it from. Maybe it was a Rick Rubin quote or someone talking about like, maybe you love doing this thing, but you don't love everything that comes along with it. And that's where I've been for a little while. And I thought it was maybe just me getting older, getting curmudgeonly, but it's like, no, you've got a tumor. And that takes its toll. That takes its toll on energy, on motivation. That was one of the first things Dr. Kuhn asked, is your motivation waning? And I said no, but thinking about it, it's like I wasn't going to mics as much for the last 6 to 8 months. And it kind of bummed me out because nobody asked me how I was doing. They just kind of assumed whatever. But it does feel nice to go to a place where you feel welcome and appreciated. So I'm excited I'll be doing my very first live podcast on my birthday, on that birthday party. If you're interested in partaking, reach out if I haven't reached out to you. It's one of those things where it's like constantly like reaching out to folks and sending little invites and things like that, because I want people to feel individually invited, because they are. But if you're someone who's listening to this and wants to be a part of it, let me know. I'm excited. I've been doing making a bunch of different stuff to get ready for it. So it's going to be a fun time. There'll be snacks, there'll be food, there'll be activities, an interactive Q&A podcast, maybe some exercise demos if you want. There'll be plenty of good sticks around. You might see a cat or two. Pretty stoked. But in the meantime, I've been getting all these letters, all this documentation about what I should and shouldn't do, what I can and can't do to prepare. I got, again, a notice of approval from my insurance company for a craniectomy. They're going to ectomy my cranie. So this is a surgery to remove your brain lesion. We have approved coverage of this request. That's good news. That feels good. Removal of brain lesion, stereotactic computer-assisted procedure. I've heard good things about these computer-assisted procedures. Microsurgery add-on. Cool. Computer's going to be chopping up the old noggin, getting Tommy out of there, evicting Tommy. I'm pleased with that. So August 13th is when it's happening. So shoot out some good vibes. I'm asking for those good vibes. I hope that's not too much. And that's the other thing that kind of sucks, is that's one of those stories I've told myself for so long, is that I felt both like too much and not enough at the same time. I feel my emotions deeply, and yet I also feel like I don't have full capacity to do the things that I want to, that I love doing. So it's been a challenge, and to have some clarity on why that has been the case over the years has been a relief. I'm not thankful for it. I'm not happy I have a tumor, but I'm grateful that the things have happened as they have, so we could get to the bottom of this. The AFib helped me lead to this. I thought I was like, oh, AFib, found out, great. Then I had a seizure. Yeah, at my friend's party, at Tim's party, I was talking with my friends, and I was like, yeah, I think that was the first time I've done comedy since the event. And a neighbor that was there that I didn't particularly know, said, what event? And I was like, seizure. And she goes, oh, that is an event. Because it's like, why would you not talk about this stuff? I know some people who are a little more circuitous when they speak about challenges in their lives, and that's totally fine, and I totally respect that, but it's not how I'm working. I had some jokes about Chadwick Boseman that didn't go over too well. Everybody loved Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman was dope. He was awesome. He was in the best actor running the year he died, but nobody knew he was going to die. Like, I think God was even like, when he died, like, whoa, we got Boseman? Nobody liked that. And I said, yeah, some people call that dark comedy. I call it tumor humor. People like that. Sorry to repeat a joke I told you earlier in the podcast. What a putz! No, I'm not a putz. You're not a putz. You're great. So, get stuff going. I'm in the process. I'm getting to think about stuff. I'm trying to clean. I'm trying to prepare. I'm trying to continue to move my body and stay healthy and strong. There's so many things that I want to accomplish and take care of beforehand. And you know how it goes. Things just keep piling and piling and piling. So I'm doing my best. But motivation, energy, and adjustments are challenges to me. And I'm willing to acknowledge that. And I'm willing to acknowledge that I'm sensitive around those things as well because of a variety of events in my past. But working towards advocating for myself, having others who are in my corner, helps me to rewrite the story that I have been telling myself and I have been told over the years. So there's a lot of things I need to do and a lot of decisions to make. And when you don't get a great night's sleep, it makes everything harder. It makes everything a lot harder. And I got this another packet today, big old packet, my brain surgery packet. There's some fun stuff in here. There's this pamphlet. There's a few pamphlets. And I really like this pamphlet I got on craniotomy. Oh, look, honey, there's my new noggin. My brain's going to be in there. Look at that. Understanding your care for your craniotomy. You're not alone. Resources. We're not. And that is good. I mean, literally, this kind of stuff helps me. Hearing that you're not alone. These are resources. This is your healthcare team. These are the people that's going to help you. What's a craniotomy? Concerns about your recovery. Tumor, the functions of the brain. All this kind of stuff. A brain tumor is a mass of abnormal cells. A primary brain tumor starts in the brain. A metastatic brain tumor grows from cells that spread to the brain from some other site in the body. The goal is to remove as much of the tumor as possible. Depending on tumors, other treatments may also be needed. So, I mean, that's part of it. Medical exam, I like these pictures. It feels, very like the more you know. Bum ba da dum. Look at that doctor. He's looking right up in there. He's getting in there, looking at you. I've had an MRI. Oh, I'm going in for an fMRI next week. That's going to be cool. A functional MRI. What if it was just fMRI for a fucking MRI? This is your fucking MRI, baby. But it's, I mean, I bet that would be interesting if they had MRIs while people were fucking. Like, what would your brain look like? One of my friends was like, oh man, what's going to happen? What if you get out and your willy doesn't work? He's like, you got to have them like make you think about boobs. Because like, what part of the brain controls boobs? I was chatting with my other friend, Eve, friend of the show, Eve Ellenbogen, and we were laughing about that. Like, it sounds like I'm some kind of superhero that, like, the brain controls boobs, like I'm the Magneto of tits. That would be something. I'm sorry for saying that. I'm laughing, so I must not be that sorry. The day of my craniotomy. Look at that. Notes to family and friends. You'll be shown a nearby room where you can wait during surgery. Craniotomy often takes 3 to 5 hours or more to complete. If possible, be sure one person's always in the waiting room to receive any news. The doctor will come talk with you as soon as surgery's over. You'll also be told when you can visit your loved one. Your one loved. Your loved one. Only the one, though. So, again, just getting ready for stuff. Reading through these packets, reading through this information, constipation protocol. Do you have a constipation protocol? What's your constipation protocol? I've got one right here, baby. Constipation protocol. So, I don't know. My protocol when I'm constipationed, I don't know. It should be better probably. Metamucil, Citracel. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't last too long, but that's a pretty common thing to have happen when you have a big old surge. Takes a while to duke it out, but hopefully my protocol. Constipation protocol. Sounds like what RoboCop has to do to take a shit. And hopefully things go well. I'm chatting with other people who've been through similar things. I have a friend who's been through it recently. Another friend who's been through it a while ago. Connected with a few people through groups, support groups online and stuff like that. That's been nice. That's been helpful to hear other people's stories. And I'm looking forward to continuing to do that. And I'm looking forward to moving through this processes. Next Wednesday, got the fucking MRI. The Wednesday after that, got the fucking craniotomy. So we'll see how it goes. 8/6, 8/13. Right after I turn 42 on 8/4. 4/2 on 8/4. I love these numbers. Numbers are nice. I like a good 4. 4 is one of my good numbers. Always kind of been my favorite, was in my football and basketball numbers, dog. So yeah, I'm chugging along, and I hope you are too. Take the time you need to do the things you want. Reach out to the people you love. Tell them good things. Give them a nice compliment. Ooh, I like how your skin feels. That's a select few. You can tell that too. But seriously, human touch, dog. It's an important part of life. Give somebody a nice hug. Tell them something you appreciate about them. Look them in the eyes for a few moments. Stare into their eyes. Gaze into their soul. Let them know you care. Sorry, I'm singing a Jars of Clay song here or whatever. Anyways, I appreciate you. I do. I hope that if you appreciate the podcast, you might consider sharing it with a friend, with a family member. This somebody who's gone through a brain tumor, a tumor, rumor, humor, doomer, gloomer, and see whatever. I don't know. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're listening to your body. I'm kind of closing up in these last couple of weeks. I only have couple more weeks of clients, working out with them over the next couple of weeks. Then we'll be taking some time off, applying for like time off stuff, talking with people in those processes, talking with people at work, talking with people in the medical fields, and several different appointments to take care of. I got a bunch of stuff: legal stuff, work stuff, body stuff, health stuff, brain stuff, comedy stuff, friend stuff, family stuff, cat stuff. So much stuff. And so I think it's pretty common to feel like it's a lot. So if you feel like you're going through a lot, it's all good. Take some nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep that up, in through the nose. And while you're doing it, think about something you're thankful for. Think about somebody you want to have goodness in their lives. Send that out there to them. Put it out there in the world. Put it out there. Say it, feel it, think it, write it. Don't just only hold on to it. Hold on to the things that are important to you. But as I'm finding, I can't cling too tightly to stuff because I just don't have the control over it that I thought I did. Comedy, health, family, cats, work, it can all be taken from you in the blink of an eye. So appreciate it, but go lightly, and enjoy where you are, because you never know when things are going to change. And I hope that they change for you in a beautiful, glorious, flowering way that allows you to see deeper into yourself and the world around you, that is illuminating and connective and joyous. Because you deserve that. We deserve that. That is how we move forward. That's what I think. I think you're great. I think you're cool. I probably think you're cute. I probably want to give you a big old hug, fat smooch on the cheek. You know? Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for being freaking you. Thank you for checking in today. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a great flippin' day.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tybersi.
it's kind of a chain of consciousness, a train of thought, train of consciousness. What is that called? Is that what it is? And I kind of try to talk about my life, and I talk about things that people have a hard time talking about. I want to make weird topics accessible, whether that's about health or sex or relationships or communication, all those kinds of things that some people have a hard time discussing. I want to make that accessible, and I want to make it accessible to a room full of varied individuals, whether you're 21 or 81. I want to be able to talk to you about getting laid because that's important, or a brain tumor, or dying, or my cats, or being tired. Everybody can connect with some of those ideas.